All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Robert Smirking Gun Reviews, and I just found out that Friends from College Season 2 came out on Netflix. If you might not be a fan of it, but I really dug Friends from College Season 1. It doesn't seem to be getting a good response with critics, but I don't really fucking care about professional critics most of the time. I really liked it. Friends from College feels like a 8-episode like independent dramedy. With a lot of actors that I really like. And it hits me right in some nostalgia parts. It makes me think of what life would be like if I had made some different choices. And by that I mean like if I had been to college, if I had gotten, developed friendships like this, like long-lasting friendships, because that's something I never had. I moved around so much that I don't have like this core group of people. And so I kind of like seeing shows like this of people my age and what, could have been. And maybe that's a little sad. Maybe it's a little, like I'm looking at something that I didn't have and I'm just looking to experience that. I don't know. Maybe. But I happen to really like this show, and it's got a lot of people I really like Fred Savage and Keegan-Michael Key, Cobie Smulders, Nat Faxon. I also like Anna Parisi a lot. I did not expect her. Like, she just kind of seems a little out of place in this show as far as the cast, because most of these people are kind of known for like comedies or, yeah. And even like Greg German, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, because it's like German but with 2 N's. So it's like Greg German. Anyway, he was like from Ally McBeal, and he always plays an asshole. But I really like him here because he actually gets to play kind of just a regular nice guy. Yeah, he always plays like the snarky asshole, so it's nice to see that he can play a nice guy. But yeah, Anna Parisi, she just feels like a little out of place from this rest of this cast. But not in the, like once she's in it. I'm not saying that her performance is bad and like that she's miscast. She isn't. Keegan-Michael Key is great in this. So is everybody's really good in this, and Billy Eichner's also in this. If you haven't seen Billy on the Street, or where I grew to love Billy Eichner, which was as Craig on Parks and Rec. You didn't even know. I don't even think I did that right, but I loved him on Parks and Rec. And he's really good here too. And he's downplayed. Again, like he's usually really up and ramped up kind of. And in this, he's subdued. In fact, he thinks everybody else is really ramped up and loud, which is like a nice like way to play off character that he usually gets to play. But anyway, if you haven't seen the episode, full spoilers, this is season 1, episode 1. It's called Welcome to New York. And in this first episode, we find out that Keegan-Michael Key's Ethan has been carrying on a 20-year affair with Sam, played by Anna Parisi. And it's, when she finds out that they're coming to New York, they decide that they've got to end this affair. And Ethan's married to Cobie Smulders' Lisa. And they're moving back to New York to be, they're going to be around the old gang. And, some people like this idea, some people don't. They all like have their own ideas of like, they had these 20 years of pent up gripes and things like that. So you know where this is headed. Like I said, this does feel like one of those independent, film dramedies where there's plenty of laughs, but then it gets serious, every once in a while. And some people don't like those. And that's fine. They're not for everybody, but I've always had a real soft spot for this kind of like stuff. Like I don't like romantic comedies and things like that, so it's like that's okay too. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got their things. I happen to like independent film dramedies. I've watched them my whole life, and this is really no different, except it's like an episodic form. And so they get back to New York, and there's immediately awkwardness because Lisa, wants to be friends, Sam wants to be friends with Lisa, but how do you be friends with somebody, like good friends with somebody or rekindle a friendship when you know you've been sleeping with her husband for 20 years. And, I think that that's the reason why things worked, is because they were never around each other. Like, you could always be friends with somebody from afar, like whatever doesn't hurt them. But once you're faced, when you have to see them all the time, the guilt from that is, in this case, it leads her to buy her a fucking whole big poster bed. And when they go out to dinner with, have a double date dinner between Ethan, Lisa, and Sam and her husband, played by Greg German, and his name is John. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's going to be real hard. There's so many Johns. You can just tell there's tension there. When he lies about his book that Fred Savage ripped apart, which that's a pretty funny scene with him and Fred Savage talking about books. And it just makes me I love Fred Savage. I love him. He's become a really accomplished director too, and which is really cool, but he's never really blown up. He never blew up as an actor after The Wonder Years and, The Wizard, which if you know what The Wizard is, if you don't know what The Wizard is, I'm not going to tell you, but it was bad, but my kind of bad from way back in the day. Princess Bride. I mean, if you don't understand the Once Upon a Deadpool scenes with Fred Savage and Deadpool, means you've never seen The Princess Bride, and he was funny in that. The movie where he switched bodies with Judge Reinhold. He's been in some stuff, but mostly directing, and I really like him here. And the whole scene with Keegan-Michael Key doing voices whenever he gets nervous is pretty funny. It feels a little forced because it's Keegan-Michael Key. You got to, they want him to be him, that guy that from Key and Peele. And so, but it still works because Keegan-Michael Key's hilarious, funny. I wonder if there's a faster way to say his name. Because I feel like I'm saying Lee Harvey Oswald, you know what I mean? A three-name person, using all of it. But when he finds out that they don't like his book, and he wants him to do young adult, I'm like, yeah, don't do that. That's but in the end, he's just fuck you, yeah, okay, I'm doing it, even though he's right. It's the death of literature. I don't know if it's completely true that a bunch of adults read it and can't move on, but saying that they can't grow up. I'm sure there's some people that are like that. I don't read young adult books. I mean, I read Harry Potter, but I don't, I don't think I've read any Harry Potters in probably 10 years. God, has it been 10 years? Jesus. So anyway, he's trying to impress at this dinner. So he lies about the book that's supposed to be done so he can impress the girl, impress Sam, who they're not supposed to be, a thing anymore. I also like the insight into, this, John and Lisa are just not picking up on the cues. It's obvious to me, but maybe, people can be clueless, or maybe they're really good at hiding what they really know. But this also builds up to where they want them all to come out to Connecticut, have a big friend, group friend thing. Speaking of group friend thing, when they all first meet up and they have their whole ball grabbing situation. Is that a thing? Do people do that? Because I've had guy friends. I've had group of guy friends who were always hanging out, and we never had any weird ritual where we all just needed to grab each other's balls or anything. But whatever, it's TV, right? So they need to be quirky. And so they have this thing, and Sam's husband accidentally, says that their kid said, the see you next Tuesday at school. And I guess to Sam, that was a big, doesn't want people to know that about her family. And it's kind of shutting him out. He's trying to be a part of things, trying to be a part of the group. He's being a good sport about this because he doesn't really, get this whole thing of the reunion and everything. And he's one of those people on the outside looking in, same as Felix, Billy Eichner's character, sometimes there's people that, when they just get together, if you're around and you don't know the thing, you can definitely be the third wheel. I've done that, to girlfriends, whenever me and my sisters used to get together. when we would get together, it was like no one else existed. And I remember like having a girlfriend at the one time that was like so pissed because unintentionally we had completely excluded her. And that's just one of the things that it made me think of. And so I get that whole part. We also talk about in this episode that Ethan and Lisa are going to try, I guess, like in vitro fertilization with Billy Eichner's character, Felix. He's a fertility doctor. And that's also kind of a point of contention here because when Sam finds out that this is happening, you know, even though her and Ethan are supposed to be done, you know, the fact that he's moving on and trying to have a family, you know, bugs her, even though she has her own family. She's, you know, they're both, Ethan and Sam are pretty bad hypocrites. They're totally in love with each other, but they're just not moving on. They're still sticking around with the relationships that aren't satisfying them, and they're just hurting the people unknowingly and kind of intentionally at this point. And so, you know, you can say that there's not like a lot of sympathy for them, but they're likable. They're still likable, and they're people. They feel like people that, you know, that people do this. People make mistakes. I don't know, maybe this is a little bit of a TV mistake. I mean, because 20-year relationship, I'm sorry. 20 years, how do you not know? Like, I don't know. But see, coming from somebody who's never had like a 20-year relationship, I don't know. Like, how do you hide that kind of thing? I don't know. But, and I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but you know, I say if you want to be happy, you know. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I love this shot. I really do, of them all having a party and them upstairs, you know, so close by. I mean, isn't that how it is in these kind of situations, or you just be right, like you don't know what's happening on the other side of a door. Sometimes. Maybe that's stretching it. I don't know. I also love in this that they have one of the greatest covers from one of the best 90s bands ever, and that's the Sundays doing the cover of Wild Horses from the Rolling Stones. That song gets me every fucking time. And yeah, and this was a little bit longer of an episode because it was the premiere, so I think it was like 35 minutes long. But it's a good episode. It's a good, solid start. I know I'm missing things probably in here, but I think I've covered just about everything. I did think that it's always funny when you get to hear a kid say see you next Tuesday. I don't know why I'm not saying it. I've said it before on my channel, but for some reason I'm not. I do love Nat Faxon talking about that, though. They're like, why did they take away the word cunt? Why? What can we say? We can't say, you know, they took away retard. If that offends anybody that said that, I'm sorry, but it's just the word that they used, and I'm digging myself a hole. Yeah. So, anyway, that's the first episode. If you watch this and it's like kind of a recommendation episode, I really do recommend watching it. I'm going to go ahead and start uploading this video and watch the second episode, maybe try to get a second review out tonight, because I really would like to knock these out so I can get to season 2. But I just really felt compelled to make reviews on this. Also, just to add, Punisher comes out season 2 next week. I will be doing every single episode of that as quickly as I can. I'm not going to try to binge it because it comes out like next Friday, and I still got to work both Friday and Saturday, so I won't be pounding out the episodes for the first couple of days, but I will be doing the Punisher for sure, fucking A. And also, I do plan on getting back to finishing season 1 of Happy's reviews and Patriot season 2's reviews. When those shows dropped or I started watching them, I kind of hit like a bad place. And so I really wasn't excited about making any videos, and I was kind of bummed out. And it was around the time I made my sobriety video and everything. So anyway, that's what's coming up. I also have been making a list. I had somebody request that maybe I should do some recommendations for Netflix and things like that. I have been started the planning phases of writing down lists of what is going to be about as well. So anyway, if you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Review saying we'll be back with another episode review of Friends from College, and we will see you next time. Bye.